Hello everyone, and welcome to this update from the VB Hydrology site, the site that a lot of you are using the mobile app interface for the daily Vaal Dam and Vaal Barrage hydrology information. It's being well used and we believe it's providing useful information to the community. Those of you who are using the app this past week would have noticed that a red button has been applied to the front page of the app, and it's called Beta VB Hydrology Dashboard for Desktop. So what I'd like to share with you here now is what we've done using this same daily flow information and repackaged it in a desktop version of a dashboard that you can use on a desktop or a laptop or a tablet. It just makes it more visually interesting to see the data presented that way. So what we've done is we've taken the information that you would receive on the app and we've reprocessed it in this rather nice looking, visually appealing way using Grafana, which is an online system of graphing and visualizing data. So what I'd like to do now is go to the actual site and show you how that actually works. I'll be providing the links, etc., to this page in the emails and the documentation that follow this presentation. So when we visit the site, you will notice that there are a number of ways of presenting data. These visualizations, as they call them, make it very easy to understand the data that's being presented. So what I'd like to do now is just take you through from the top left of this page to the bottom right and have a look at the information and how it's presented. So in the top left here, we've got the flow data today. We've got the Vaal Dam inflow, the Vaal Dam discharge, the Vaal Barrage discharge, as well as the Bloemhof Dam discharge being the last point really as the outflow from the catchment of the upper integrated Vaal River system. Below that, we've got a block here for the Vaal Dam status today. So it's giving you what the actual percentage is today, and it's color coded from full to empty, and we've allocated colors accordingly. So as we see the Vaal Dam drop in terms of its percentage fullness, these colors will color the data. Next, we've got a gauge here called the barrage water temperature today, and this is the actual barrage temperature that's presented daily and recorded at the barrage. This is used by a lot of people who fish to get a good indication of what the temperature of the water is and how good the fishing opportunities would be. So that's presented in this gauge format. The barrage water level today, this is an important one. As you would have seen with the recent high flows, the barrage is maintained to operate within a certain height. And as and when we get high flows or rain or flooding, this level will change and obviously decrease, as we would have seen when all the gates at the barrage were opened. On the right hand side, you'll notice that this graph is presented as you would see on the VB Hydrology app. However, the difference with this is that the actual graph is fully interactive. So as you move your mouse over the data, a little pop-up will show you what the readings are. So this makes it a lot easier to actually have a look at the data and understand what was going on at certain periods of time. What you can then do is actually zoom into the data. So if you drag your mouse over this section here, the data zooms into that time period, and you can then see in more detail the actual data that was recorded for that. So here we have the Vaal Dam storage up to 109.26%, and the associated values on that day for the inflow, the discharge, and the barrage discharge. You can further interrogate that data in more detail as well by zooming in. If you'd like to return to the normal 1 year moving year graph, just simply click on the SAST button at the top and select last year, and the data will refresh back to the graph. You will also notice that in this drop down option here, you can actually have a look at data from a click of a button, so the last 7 days or the last 24 hours type of thing, or even the last 6 months. So instead of having to drag, you can also just select an option. So let me go back to the last year. Below that, we have these 5 gauges indicating the levels or the percentage fullness of the dams in the upper integrated Vaal River system. We've got the 2 in Lesotho, Mohali Dam, and then feeding into Katsi. And then starting in South Africa, we've got Stekfontein Dam contributing to the Vaal Dam, Grootdraai Dam contributing to the Vaal leg of the Vaal Dam, and then downstream towards Bloemhof. You might ask, why don't we include Vaal Dam in here? Well, we actually get the data on the left-hand side of the screen here, just in a different format, so there really was no need to include it here. And then lastly, at the bottom, we then have this daily percentage dams displayed as a year set of data as well. And again, if you move your mouse cursor over the data, you will see how the data changes as well. And exactly the same way that I explained you can zoom in on the above data, you can do the same with this graph, and it will indicate to you what that data is. You'll also notice that in the graph above, it has also zoomed into that time series or time span. So these graphs are linked in the sense of what you're looking at. So you're able to correlate similar time periods with what you're seeing in one graph with exactly the same time period in another graph. Let me just return it back to the last year's set of data. So whilst it's good to have this as a link, what we wanted to do was go one step further and provide it as a desktop app that you can access directly from the desktop of your PC. So in order to do that, you go to the top right hand corner, and I'm using Google Chrome, but you should be able to find similar options in other browsers. But for Google Chrome, the buttons at the top here, click on that, go down to Cast, Save and Share, and then across to Install Page as an app. This will bring a pop-up with the word Grafana in there. We can delete that and put in whatever we would like to call the icon on our desktop. You're welcome to call it whatever you want. For purposes here, I'll just call it VB Hydrology, and I will say install, and the app has been installed and it is now displayed on your screen. You are able to make it full screen. You're able to resize it as you want for the app, so it's completely interactive as well. So let me just close it here and show you. We have the icon on the desktop. Double click on that and it will open up the flow data for you. This data, as you know, is provided daily, so it will only update in the mornings, and then that data is fixed for the day. So we hope that you find this useful for people that are more working on desktops and laptops. You now have access to an interactive set of data that's visually appealing to look at. And we hope you enjoy using this information further. And thank you for your time.